We're going to Performance Archery in San Diego. Not only have I never been fit for a bow, I haven't had a new bow in 15 years. If you look online, it's one of the, if not the premier place to buy a bow, go get fit for a bow. I have no idea what this process is gonna look like. The technology and what's out now versus what I have is gonna be night and day. So I'm pretty pumped up. I shoot a left-handed bow, so they've got a bunch of left-handed stuff in stock for me to try out and do the full fit.
What about your car? Do you have a favorite car today?
I have a rule that if one person in the family owns a Tesla, you must also own a diesel truck like I do to offset the carbon footprint. So we are driving my wife's Tesla today because my truck's in the shop. This place is amazing.
Well, dude, I mean, this gets you shooting, man. It's a sweet little bow.
I mean, it
You're
works.
definitely gonna have an upgrade.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You're gonna get into like a Ferrari of a setup.
And she's worked for me. We've taken plenty of deer, plenty of coyotes, but it's time for something that works a little better. Something that shoots faster than 250 feet per second or something like that.
So what is your absolute overall goal with the bow?
I'd like to take something out that I'm a little more confident with. Because of the way life has worked the last few years with kids and everything, I've kind of fallen out of bow hunting. I want to get back into it. I want to start with something I'm not questioning my gear, right? I want something, if I want to go elk hunting or I want to go shoot, little coastal blacktails, something that'll work for everything.
Yeah.
And this one I know that's just not it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. You want durability, reliability, something you can trust every single time.
Yeah.
Kind of walk me through your process when you shoot.
I don't really have one. I mean, I've had it for so long, I kind of just know the bow pretty well. If I'm hunting, it's a lot of spot and stock for me, so it is what it is.
The best way to do it, brother.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm hunting coyotes, I'm just calling them in. I got a couple spots that I shoot in a rangefinder, and I've got a lot of pins on that site.
Yeah.
I like to nerd out on gear. I don't always spend the money on the absolute primo stuff, but even what's mid-grade now is 10 times better than what's here.
What poundage do we have right here right
I
now?
think it's at 65.
And then what kind of budget do we have today?
Overall, I like to keep the whole package under $3,000.
Okay.
And also, I want something that's easy to use, right? The reality is I'm not hunting every weekend.
Yeah.
I want to be able to go out in my backyard. I've got 40, 50 yards to be able to shoot. I just want to be able to shoot targets all day and not wear myself out.
Well, that's the benefit.
This beats me up.
The bow, man. It's not only is it extremely fascinating to hunt with, right? But it's also extremely fun to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we can definitely get you into something
Awesome.
that's gonna meet all those things, man. It's two really big time companies kind of dominate the sector, right? And you can kind of dictate whether or not it's this company's number one or this company's number one, right? Bows nowadays perform at an extremely high level, right? Our personal two main companies that we support is Mathews and Hoyt. Right? Okay. Because their durability, their reliability, and the way the whole they tune is perfect, right? So that's why we always try to strive for guys and gals to get into Hoyt and Mathews, because they're getting into a product that's going to last for an extremely long time and that they're going to love, right? Getting a bow is a lot like getting a custom tailored suit, right? It's not as simple as just getting a bow and oh yeah, let me shoot this thing.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've told a 6'7" dude, hey man, this bow's not gonna fit you.
This one's not the one for you.
So with having some bows in mind, the first one that comes to mind for me is going to be an Alpha X30. The best way I can describe this bow is going to be a fast, hard hitting bow. Aluminum bows from Hoyt, they used to be a little bit heavy. This year they kind of took more of a skeletonized approach, as you kind of can see.
Yeah.
Right? They try to machine a lot of the riser out.
It looks pretty cool.
No, it's a great looking bow, and it holds and feels really well. As you know, with precision long range shooting, once you get a certain rifle or platform that's super light, you start to experience a lot of recoil.
Yep.
So aluminum bows tend to feel a lot more dead in the hand.
Okay.
Right, but you have to also imagine hiking around with an aluminum bow.
Yeah.
It gets heavy.
And I'm not a big dude. I'm not trying to pack a ton of weight, right? But
No.
that was going to be a question I was going to ask. As you get lighter with the bow, is it going to be like a shooting platform where the lighter you go, the more you're subject to recoil, just fine movements that kind of get magnified because the bow's a little too light sometimes?
Definitely, for sure.
Okay.
You'll start to notice the bow when you're at full draw will start to move a lot. Feels really good. It still has a little bit of weight to it, but not as much as it used to, right? So
It still feels good though.
I really like Hoyt's grips, right? They feel really good to me. It's just a really solid platform that you can really shoot off of. Some other features that are really nice. You have a pick mount, then you also have a dovetail mount.
Okay.
Why this is important for you, right? So when you integrate with a dovetail mounted rest, you get the maximum clearance left to right. You have a very, very lightweight platform that allows your rest to drop away and that arrow just fly nice and straight.
Okay.
But what it also helps out with is making sure you have complete clearance on this side of your bow. That way you can mount an integrated quiver, so that way
Gotcha,
you have
okay.
a nice sucked in platform. And there's also a lot of cool features up here. You can adjust how this bow really feels with your let off, right? So not a lot of bows
cool.
do this. When it says 85% let off, you're holding like 15% of the weight when you're at full draw.
Mine's at 70, so I'm holding 30% of the weight.
Yeah, so now it is a rotating module, right? So what that means is that this module will rotate this way.
Okay.
Right? Typically when you're at the top half of your module, you create the most efficiency out of your bow. Reason being is because when this guy is all the way back to say to that A spot, right, you get the full rotation of your cam every single time.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's go over to the next option that we're gonna be shooting, and that will be the Lift 29.5. So this is probably one of the best bows this year. Right, so for you specifically too, the 29.5 is a solid bow. You know, Hoyt's really known for the durability and like the way their cams feel and the way like that draw cycle holds. It's just a super crisp shooting bow. Mathews is really known for being like super dead in the hand, super quiet, super smooth throughout their draw cycle. And this bow kind of hits all that checklist, but it's really fast.
Okay.
Like the performance out of this cam is super good. As you take a look at the riser, it's really skeletonized.
Yeah,
If
that's
you feel
crazy.
this one.
Yeah, that's crazy looking.
This one in particular has that lightweight feature, but it doesn't like shock in your hand. It holds steady. It shoots really well. Very similar features with the Alpha X30, but then this one, they have the bridge lock mount right here. You will slide your sight through the bow right here and lock it down on the other side.
Nice.
Pros of this, you can really adjust your field of view really nicely to how you like it.
I do not take care of my gear, never have. As much as I like to drive a Ferrari, sometimes I need to just have a Toyota pickup, right?
No, I feel you.
So knowing how I take care of my gear is one of them, like more sensitive than the other, to like needing more maintenance.
Absolutely. Let's go look at the Alpha X real quick. You can already kind of imagine, based off how this bow feels in your hand, like how more durable it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just a super stiff platform, a little bit more weight to it, but that doesn't mean that the lift's not durable, because it is, right? Especially the 29.5. The 29.5 is a super solid platform because it's a little bit more stocky, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have as much flex in the riser as this one does.
That one may just be a little more durable, but probably not enough to make a decision on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We're going to start from the basics. here.
Yes, perfect.
Basically just mimicking my body position right now. We're gonna face towards this wall. We're gonna keep our feet shoulder width apart. Actually, my apologies. You're a lefty.
Yes.
I totally forgot. So used to doing it
So I'm
right
gonna
here.
face this wall.
Yes, perfect. I'm gonna say this is your bow arm. This is your release arm.
Okay.
All right. With your bow arm, you're gonna be hooking your release onto your bow, getting your grip, raising your bow arm and drawing back. What I like to do is I like people to hook onto their bow on their D-loop, so they're holding their bow, and then with their hand, I like to get them into a nice, solid grip position. Your
Okay.
grip is super vital, right? Because you want that bow coming right down the track of your hand, right? So that way you don't create torque into your shot. So when you get your preload, you're gonna come up into your shot, boom, and your grip's already gonna be solidified, right? Every time you bring your bow to your target, you want your grip to be solidified, and you never want to change it throughout the process. Just give me a slight bend right here. When you come up, you're going to be holding right here. You see this knuckle right here?
Yep.
This is going to be your anchor position, right? You're going to use this to find your indicator. When you're drawing back, you have your fist, your wrist, your elbow, and it's all being a nice straight line, and you're going to emphasize coming back, boom. Your knuckle is gonna come right underneath that earlobe, right behind your jaw.
It's a way different position I would normally be in.
You have stability right here, right?
Yeah,
And
no, I like it.
And your indicator, right, your knuckle is showing you where your anchor point needs to be. Your string's gonna look like this at the beginning. As you draw back, you're gonna create a triangle. The first thing you're always looking for is what?
My sight,
No,
my arrow,
no,
my peep,
no.
the animal,
I told you.
my knuckle,
Knuckle in the pocket.
knuckle in my pocket.
Your anchor point.
Gotcha.
You are then going to put the corner of the mouth on the string and tip of the nose on the string. So you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Remember everything we talked about. Raise that hand, knuckle in the pocket. Good. Corner of the mouth, tip of the nose. Good. All right, now can you see the peep through here?
No.
Where's the peep need to go?
The peep needs to go left.
I cannot adjust left and right, right? I can only adjust up and down.
Gotcha.
If we have a left and right issue, that means we either have a grip issue or B, an anchor point issue.
Okay.
Right? So when we come down the corner of the mouth, tip of the nose, for this next one, don't put tip of the nose, just do corner of the mouth.
Perfect,
Let's see
okay.
what that goes. Raise that bow, Come straight back, knuckle in the pocket, corner in the mouth. All right, now, obviously we need to have this peep come up.
Yeah.
All right.
And now if I don't put my nose on it, it's perfect. I got a weird shaped face.
It's okay, man. Knuckle in the pocket, corner in the mouth. How are we looking now?
Perfect.
Perfect. All right, now put that top pin right on the white. Slowly come around with your index finger. Get deeper around that trigger. Right there. All right, now just tell yourself, here I go. Slowly start to squeeze. Squeeze. Good. How'd that feel?
It felt different. I was anticipating a lot more recoil, which is what I'm used to. And I didn't feel any.
Gotta love an aluminum, baby. All right, grab another arrow. Good. Good. Close.
Just the whole structure, holding it, everything just feels a lot different.
Fair go. Slowly start to squeeze. Bullseye, baby. Let's go ahead and come grab our arrows. I said it's pretty good.
Okay, I'll take
Pretty
that.
good.
Nice these pull out of here. You know, buy one of those for the house.
Raise that bow.
See, I like the way that felt.
Slowly start to execute your shot. Middle of the middle, brother.
This one has a little bit more abrupt, like at the end of the cam, it's a little more.
So you have that little bit of a dump.
Yeah, because I'm used to, I like the way that feels.
Bullseye, baby. Fantastic. How does this one feel?
I like this one a lot.
So we shot 2 lift. Let's shoot 2 with the Alpha X.
Oh, man, I hold this and I'm like, whew, this one feels nice too. I want to shoot one more with each because I think I'm getting hung up on finding my sight, which I don't need to do, versus feeling the bow.
Knuckle in the pocket. Middle of the middle.
I mean, it feels good. I liked that first kind of more rowdier pull. I want this bow, but God, I'm leaning towards that one now.
To really break it down, that bow is a little bit more forgiving, more steady in the hand. This bow gotta be faster, not so much as this one, but still forgiving.
So you saw me shoot both from an objective measure. I'm gonna pick a bow for you. Which one would it be?
It's really hard not to pick the 29.5. The speed on that is insane. I will say though, the Alpha X form-wise looks a little bit better on you.
And I've noticed that. So it feels like this sat a little better naturally, where this I was kind of having to find it a little bit more. This was more point and shoot though. Like this one I felt like I could get up and it was already there.
You have to decide which one you want to prioritize.
I like this one.
You want to do the lift?
Yeah, I like the lift.
Let's do it.
Sorry, buddy.
Fantastic bow. Let's talk about some accessory pieces. How do you want me to kind of build this out for you?
You build it out however you think is appropriate for me. Like we know my budget, we know what I need, and then there's probably gonna be some needs versus wants. Give me the options as we go through.
So this is hands down the absolute best sight you can get into.
Okay.
Excel landslide. So this is a dovetail version, right? So what this means is like you can slide it through your riser like so.
Gotcha,
right?
okay.
Do you like to have multiple pins?
Yes, now I have, because I've had it for so long, I think it's like 20, 30, 40,
Yeah,
50.
5 pins.
Yeah, so it's a lot of pins. This has what, 3?
3.
So that's probably perfect.
3 pin is like, in my personal opinion, the best blend. Also, you can have longevity out of this sight for a long time. Like this is a sight you'll buy and you'll never buy a different sight again.
Okay.
You have your indicators. We put your top and bottom pin right up here, so that way you will always know where your indicators are at all times. This is your windage over here. Very tactile, feels really good.
I like that, solid detents.
Next piece, probably the most important after the bow, is going to be your rest. So your rest is kind of like the heart of your bow, right? As you take a look right here, a whisker biscuit, you know, it's like tried and true.
Yep.
But the thing about this guy, right, is like as you go out the distance, you have arrows that are going through something.
Like I run the hostage rest, which is kind of like a whisker biscuit, but it's got cutouts for the fletchings, but it still touches the arrow the whole time.
Exactly. So what I would tell you is get into a drop away rest, right? So there are a few different options. What I personally run is the QED MX2. It's super lightweight. And the nice thing about it has a lockup feature to it. So you can lock your arrow up and you don't have to worry about it. This is your mounting bracket, right? So it's very clean, very low profile. This is a cable driven rest. So as you draw this bow back, your cables will move, causing tension for this guy to come up like so.
Gotcha.
Right? And then as you shoot, let's see if I can get it, it drops out of the way.
and it drops fast enough to get out of the way of the arrow.
Now, the other option you can get into is going to be like an epsilon, right? This is a limb-driven wrist. So this guy will come all the way down to right here. And then as this guy is drawn back, your launcher will lift up. As you shoot, drops away, goes through, right?
And that's what I'm used to seeing.
This is probably one of the most reliable, but it's heavy. And for me personally, once your bow gets to a certain style of speed, I've had issues personally myself to where like my bow's just too fast and it won't tune that well.
It doesn't get out of its own way.
With a broad head.
Okay.
Right?
Well, my rule of thumb is if I don't know, use what the pro uses. So I'm probably gonna go with what you're using.
Yeah, you're gonna have a solid option, man. So from here, you basically have everything you need. Now, what I would tell you, get a new release.
You don't like my release?
I'll get a new release. Reason being is because the Velcro option has the ability to move.
Yeah, for sure.
You want a buckle option.
And it's just my old school kind of mentality. I like something that hooks it in and I know I'm not gonna drop an arrow. So I do definitely want like something that is gonna capture it.
So you like the connection piece where it like loops around.
Yeah, and that's just the old man in me that's like, always worried about kind of that hook just sort of falling off. I definitely want something that straps to me. I know there's like handhelds and stuff that a lot of guys use now, but
you can't go wrong with the Assassin XT. The benefit of shooting like say a hook style system is just you have a very clean, quick aspect to your D-loop. They're usually a little bit more adjustable, and then you can just really shoot them well with back tension.
Okay.
Right, so like for example, I usually really like recommending the Carter RX1. I think it's a super solid trigger release because this is a release you can start to shoot with back tension really nicely. Let's try this one and then let's try this one. So this is basically going to be just like a bow, right?
okay.
But without the consequences of dry firing your bow.
That's interesting. I was waiting for something mechanical to happen. Freaks me out, but it works.
How does it feel compared to that one?
Like I like the feel of the trigger for sure. I like this one. There's a lot. There's a lot happening. He's doing a good job of not making it overwhelming, because it could be. I mean, now they feel identical. I actually do feel fairly comfortable with this one.
All right, now try this one. Okay. So how does that one feel?
This one feels nice. This one, I feel more confident with it. It just feels a little bit more robust. I think this is going to be the winner.
All right.
I like that
Sweet,
one.
bro. Do we want to do a stabilizer?
We do. Going between the two bows, I would like this one to feel a little more stable.
So you can either go with like the old school ones, right? The only downfall of these, they only come in 10 inches. I would tell you do a 12, right?
Okay.
Reason being, because like I said, you want that bar further away from your hand to help distribute the weight nicely, right? So I'd tell you get a 12-inch bar.
Let's do it.
Put it in the front, man. Arrows. What I would recommend is
I'm going to take 100% your recommendation.
Either a VAP Elite 350 spine, and then the other arrow I'd recommend you is going to be an Easton Axis long range 340. Extremely lightweight.
Okay.
Right, fast, still durable and strong. Easton Axis, just a little bit more durable, still flat shooting, still really good shooting. American made, not. So whichever one you want to run with.
Well, let's go with the American made ones.
Okay.
For sure. It's not like I'm just picking up a bow. I am gonna go down there, he's gonna make sure the fit's right, we're gonna tune it to me, whatever that means, and I'll be able to walk out with my bow today, which is bitchin'. I'll tell you what's even cooler though, is I'm driving my truck instead of the Tesla, because as I said before, I have to offset my wife's carbon footprint with mine. So pro tip, if your wife has a Tesla, also own a diesel.
So what we need to do from here, we need to go out into the range, and then we need to just verify everything that we did last week.
Let's
go over here.
Yeah,
I
for
want
sure.
you to check out your arrows too. There we go, man.
Love that color. That turned out bitchin'. And we wrapped them. Colors are rad.
So we can either A, cut this off, or in the meantime, I can just tape it with like electrical tape.
Okay.
All right, so that way.
Yeah, let's do that just in case I need to tinker later.
Let me go grab the demo arrows. Once we confirm this, we're gonna cut these.
Perfect.
When you draw back and you look through your peep, use that top pin, right? So get a good grip, like we talked about. Raise your bow to the target. Keep that elbow up nice and high, draw all the way back, boom. All right, now, get that knuckle in that pocket. Right there, boom. All right, now corner the mouth, tip of the nose, slowly come around your index finger, and just slowly start to squeeze. Square up that stance, good. Raise that bow to that target. Boom, knuckle in that pocket. Core in the mouth, tip of the nose, good. All right, over here is gonna be your windage. Bringing it towards you to the right, brings the sight over to the left. Going away from you, brings it over to the right. So I'm gonna push it away because we're shooting over to the right.
And these are my arrows. So these are exactly what I'll be shooting, which is why we're sighting these ones in.
Good?
Yeah, I'm good. That was just unexpected.
You're incorporating this part of your hands.
Okay.
I don't want that, right? So keep your hand nice and flat. You put this guy in here like so, right? And you see how this part of your hand's off the grip?
Okay.
That's what you want.
Because what's happening is I'm getting up like this, and it's pushing it this, and I'm having to like do that. Feels fantastic. I'm trying to just kind of get used to this release, get used to the new bow feel. So the first shot, like I couldn't see out of the peep because it was like rotated. I was like, well, I don't know what to do. Do I let it down or do I shoot? How do I fix it? So
you're gonna go through a break-in period.
Where that's gonna just keep kind of wandering
And
around.
it's gonna wander around a little bit. Once you come back in for your break-in tune, that's when it's really gonna settle in.
Okay.
Are you closing that right eye?
Kind of half closing it. I'm used to shoot with both eyes open.
Money. I'm adjusting his draw stop, okay? So now we need to go up a little bit. So I'm gonna move you up just a hair, lock that down. So when you hit this, you know that you're at
Gotcha.
20.
Okay. That's essentially my zero stop
Yep.
on an optic where I set my zero
Yep.
and that's the hard stop on it. Okay, nice.
Saying like if you have one on your own, and you
always put it around your grip.
Yeah, because I was searching for my release the other day because I always keep it here and it falls off.
I think that's it, bro. Oh, let me get you a hat and owner's manual.
I'll be honest, I'm mostly excited about the hat. Appreciate all your help,
Yeah, of
brother.
course, dude.
Seriously, it was
Appreciate
great.
you, man.
That was eye-opening, great time, great people. That's the start to finish on getting fit for a bow at probably the premier shop in the country. So if you like what you saw, hit like and subscribe.